Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, 2020 was definitely a year that I don't think we'll be forgetting anytime soon, but definitely it has effects for 2021 as well, especially as we're looking at tax season this year. If you all have questions as to what the changes might be, how you might be impacted, we're excited to welcome to our program today Mark Steber. He's a Chief Tax Information Officer. He's going to help you guys know what you should know when it comes to maybe if you got a stimulus this year, and also if you filed for unemployment, any changes that need to be made that maybe you should be aware of before you're heading into the end of tax time this year. We'll definitely let you know that as well. Mark, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cyrus. Great to be here. Have a wonderful morning.
Well, look, a lot of changes I know are in store for us, especially as we're looking at tax season this year, and I know you've been on top of a lot of this. Talk to us, though, about some of the big things our audience needs to know, Mark, when it comes to preparing for their taxes this year.
Well, 2020 will be a tax return for the ages, Cyrus. There was a lot of changes in the lifestyles of many Americans. There were stimulus payments, the first set, the second set. There were unemployment, implications for people who filed for unemployment or who became unemployed, near 60 million. Some of those folks became self-employed, full or part-time to help make ends meet. Another 40 million folks there. There were tax law change bills, 1, 2, 3 during the year if you count them. And then just plain life, Cyrus, that people have. Getting married, getting divorced, having a child, adopting, or fostering, all will drive tax law changes onto the tax return. So a lot for folks to watch out for, and a lot for people to keep in mind, and a lot of risk of missing something that could help you have a bigger refund.
Yeah, and to that point, let's talk about the stimulus, if you don't mind, Mark, because that is one of the big things people are thinking about. As you mentioned, those two payments a lot of people got in 2020. Are those things that they should look at as considered taxable income?
Great question. There's a couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, neither of the stimulus packages that folks received are taxable. Tax-free money, you do not have to pay income taxes on it. Having said that, I'll give you two other key things to keep in mind. If people, for whatever reason, put it on their tax return, or if they're doing their taxes on their smartphone, they put down stimulus income on their tax return, that money will be taxed, and the IRS will not know and will not peel it off. So, if you got it, it's not taxable, but if you put it on your tax return, you might end up paying taxes on it. Secondly, not everybody got all of the stimulus money that they deserve. There were some mistakes. That's not the big issue. There were some law changes and even life changes. So, for example, if you had a baby in 2020, or adopted a baby or foster a child dependent on your tax return in 2020, those advanced economic impact payments would not be reflective of that. And the IRS would not know it and did not send you that money. But you can claim it and get your extra payments on your 2020 tax return. There were also some law changes, as I mentioned, that will allow people to go back and recover money from the first stimulus that might have been disqualified. If you had an I-10 on your tax return, for example, you didn't get any money on the first payment plan for anyone associated with your tax return. This time you can go back and ask for money from the first stimulus payment and on the second. And thirdly, I see a custody situation, shared custody or changed custody or just abusive custody where somebody actually claimed a dependent, not theirs. This is where you correct all that on your 2020 tax return. So if you didn't get all of your money for whatever reason, and you're not comfortable that you got all of your money, share that information with your pro and tell them why you don't think you got it all, or just share your life situation with them, and they should help you get that navigated. But stimulus was automatic, but it was based on some early information. Not everybody got everything. It is tax-free, but you do need to keep up with it and reconcile it to make sure you got all of it on your 2020 tax return.
That is some great information, Mark. I know our audience is going to really appreciate that. You mentioned something else that I think definitely impacts a lot of people, not only in our listening area on the radio, but also around the country, and that is unemployment benefits. What should our audience know if they did collect those in 2020?
Yeah, unemployment benefits always tricky every year, all the time. And for 2020, there's a whole lot more. It's kind of reflective of 2020. The first thing I will say is, unlike the economic impact payments, unemployment benefits are taxable. Just like regular income, you owe taxes on that. So that needs to go on your tax return. If you leave it off, nasty letter coming with the tax assessment and probably penalties and interest from the IRS. Secondly, unemployment benefits are not like wages. They don't have automatic withholding. You have to ask for that. You have to opt in. And not many people do because they're already in dire straits, so they don't pay taxes in advance, so they'll need to catch up, which means their refund could be shorter, come tax time if you had unemployment benefits. And even if you did opt in, it's only at 10%, a pretty low amount. The third thing folks need to know this year is that there were the first plan for unemployment, they expanded the plans in many states, they extended benefits in many states. There was a federal, new program that were enacted by states. So you may get multiple unemployment benefit statements this year, your 1099-G. You'll need to watch out for all of those and make sure they kind of tally up to what you think you got. And if you don't, you need to contact your state. And in some cases, states are now saying you have to download the statement. So a lot to watch out for on the statements. The last thing I would remind your listeners too is that unemployment benefits are not earned income for a lot of the credits, the earned income credit by its name. So unemployment benefits, if you got them, might mean you had less earned income tax credit this year and a lower refund, except that there was a law change, something else to keep in mind, that says you can cherry pick either this year's earned income or last year's earned income if you had, earned income credit or child credit or some of the other credits and you had unemployment benefits. So a lot to watch out for in the unemployment benefit rate, range this year.
Mark, this information is so helpful, and we know that your time is precious. We definitely want to have you back. Again, everyone, Mark Steber has been our guest. He's the Chief Tax Information Officer, helping you guys to get ready for your tax returns this year. That's also what you need to know about taxes for 2020. Mark, where can our audience go for more information?
Our website at jackson-hewitt.com, tons of information, videos, checklists, frequently asked questions, or you can just punch in your zip code and find the office near you, make an appointment, schedule to go in, or drop off your stuff, or have an envelope sent to your house to recover your stuff, or set up a virtual account and do your taxes from home by sending up your stuff with a smartphone and having someone call you and help you there. So a lot of different ways to get your taxes done, jackson-hewitt.com.
Thank you, Mark. You have a great one. We really appreciate you stopping by the program today. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.